There's a movie called Wretches and Jabberers that is about people with more severe autism that can only communicate by typing on a keyboard. And there are other various movies and TV shows that portray autism. And like there's one show, Parenthood, that they have a kid with Asperger's, and they show realistic family scenarios of the difficulty of having a child on the spectrum.
Well, Hollywood is Hollywood. Hollywood will do as Hollywood does. I think at this point in our understanding of it, it is somewhat stereotypical to help other people to understand it. The nuances of living with the spectrum, I wouldn't expect Hollywood to demonstrate, and they don't generally do that. It varies from project to project, but I still think right now there might be playing up more of the nerd characteristic of people being on the spectrum. And that's cool with me at this point. I think it's going to evolve as it did with people of color when they were in Hollywood and they were in the media and they went from stereotypical roles into fully developed, personalities. And I expect the same with autism.
There are some portrayals that I see in autism that are good and are bad. But ultimately, I don't have some of the bad judgments that some people have about those portrayals, because ultimately, autism is very complex. No one person accurately portrays autism. If you've seen one person with autism, you've seen one person with autism. That's a common saying in the autism world for a reason.
Nowadays, with media portrayal of Asperger's, it's more helpful and understanding and more informative to the audience as to what it is. But also there is sometimes bad portrayals of it. It needs to not perceive Asperger's as a terrible thing. Just because someone has Asperger's doesn't mean that they are ineffective to do this and that.
I do think that what needs to stop is the instantaneous diagnosis of somebody who just went on a killing spree. Not all people with Asperger's or high-functioning autism are going to turn out to be mass murderers. The reality of it, and that this is not a monster, this is a child who has all the same emotions and feelings as any other child. It's just that he processes things differently.